So this video we will discuss about the evolutionary models for software development. So there are two evolutionary approaches for software development. One is prototyping model and other one is spiral model. So now we will see about the prototyping model. Okay. So this is the stages involved in the prototyping model. So the five stages in prototyping model is the first one. It starts with the communication, followed by quick plan, quick design, then construction of prototype, deployment, delivery, and feedback. And from the diagram, you can see this is an evolutionary model. Whenever we don't have a clear objective about what are all the features we want to develop in the system, then we can go for this prototyping model. So, you know that what is the core feature you want in the system. You can start with the software development. You can implement the core features in the first iteration, and we can refine the system in the further iteration. That is the main advantage of having a evolutionary software development. And one thing you can notice here. So the other models, it is communication, plan, model, construction, and deployment. Whereas in prototyping, that you can see a word called quick plan and quick design. So whenever we want to provide a quick solution, in that case, we have to choose the prototyping development model. Okay. So these are the hint you have to identify what type of model you have to choose for the particular software or for the particular problem statement. So if you are not having a clear idea about the requirements, and maybe if you want to have or you want to develop the solution within a very short period of time, in that cases you can go for this prototyping software development model. So here we start with a preliminary design. So we don't know the final requirement. We start with a basic requirement, the preliminary design. Then we try to implement it. And then after implementing, we define the system again. And then again, we will use it. And this is going to be an iterative process. So by interacting with the prototype, the user can get a better idea about what is actually required, and then we can fine tune the prototype to include the advanced features, and then we can create the final system. So you all know that prototype is nothing but a basic working version of the system. Say for example, the basic features, core features which you wanted in the system. So that is the prototype. And this will be further refined to include all the sophisticated features to be developed in the particular system. So this is the advantage and disadvantage of prototyping. So as I said, if you are not having a clear idea about the requirements, in that case, you can choose prototyping. This is going to be most useful methodology for getting the design solutions if you are not having a clear idea about the requirements. And second one, here the end user involvement is throughout the life cycle, and so that we can fulfill the user requirements at most. And next is, if the completed prototype works reasonably well, then there is very less amount of reprogramming and redesigning is required. That is another advantage of having a prototyping software development methodology. In this video, we will be looking at the spiral methodology for software development. So the steps involved in spiral model is communication, plan, modeling, construction, and deployment. So when I say communication, we are going to interact with the customer and we are going to identify what is the requirements. And planning includes like when we have to start the particular process and when we have to end, that is scheduling, and how many persons to be assigned, who are the person and what is their responsibility. Everything will be planned, and then we go for estimation and we will perform risk analysis. So, in prototyping model, risk analysis is not done, whereas here we will do risk analysis at each and every stage. So that is the main feature of spiral model. Then planning is followed by creating the design, that is modeling, and then we go for writing the code, implement it, collect the feedback, and we make any further enhancement to the system. So this is the process involved in the spiral methodology. So here also we are going to have an iterative nature of prototyping. The one extra feature here is it is a risk driven process model. We are going to do risk analysis at each and every stage. So the two main distinguishing feature here in spiral model is we are going to follow a cyclic approach for incrementally growing the system features while decreasing the degree of risk. So we incrementally add the feature. At the same time, we do risk analysis and the risk will be reduced. So this is the main feature of spiral model. And the second one is we will be having a milestone for ensuring the stakeholder commitment. Say, for example, for a communication stage, the first stage, say, for example, it has to take a maximum of 1 week means the milestone will be set and that particular stage has to be completed within that time limit. We cannot go beyond that 7 days. Okay. So that is where we ensure the commitment of the stakeholder. So when it comes to the advantage and disadvantage of spiral system, so this spiral model is good for developing a large scale system because we do the risk analysis and we reduce the risk. So this is main advantage. And when it comes to the disadvantage of the evolutionary model, one thing is we don't have a clear idea about how many number of iterations is required for developing the final project. And similarly, when I say speed of evolution, that is also uncertain. And the last one is like extending the development to reach the quality because we are going to give the project earlier. So to achieve high quality, we may not know how much time we can delay so that we can get better quality of the product. So this is regarding spiral model.